All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Comix Asylum Live. My name is Steve, and I'm here with Vaughn, and
Hey guys.
we're gonna chop it up with you guys with some, I guess, comic book news, some movie news, and we're also gonna dive into a little bit of indie comics on a Kickstarter that's expanding into a toy line, which I find quite interesting. So,
Oh really?
oh
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So it's Wiser Comics. We've had them on the show. We've had Frederick Littles on the show before,
hmm
and there is a chance that he might join us um, to go over some of the stuff that he's got cooking. And if not, we'll have him back on the show for a longer period of time. But first off, Vaughn, how you doing?
Doing good, doing good. Busy week, but doing good.
You survived that crazy storm we had last night?
Yeah, that was kind of wild.
It's almost biblical.
Yeah. Wasn't that bad out here I'm out in the Hammer, so it's not too bad.
Right. For anyone who's not part of the GTA, the Hammer is Hamilton, Ontario. So it's Ontario steel town, kind of like Pittsburgh. It's the Pittsburgh of Ontario.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Yeah. So we had two massive trailers drop yesterday. Did you
Yeah,
get a chance to see any of them?
yeah, I saw both. I saw both. And I mean the second one gave me a little bit more faith in this Master of the Universe thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then the first one, so I'm drawing a blank. I know I've seen both of them, I just can't remember. What was the second one?
Well, the one we're going to talk about today, Supergirl.
Supergirl, yeah. So I saw that too. I did see that.
Yeah. So, quick,
That's the type of day I've been having.
yeah, it's all good. We've all been there.
Yeah.
So we touched on. We were on J-Man stream last night talking about it with Decepticon, and it was interesting because there was a wide range of
Thoughts?
thoughts and opinions,
Mm-hmm.
and I think a lot of fears were assuaged with the Masters Universe trailer.
Yeah.
I'm not sure we're going to get the same feeling or feedback with Supergirl, but
Supergirl?
we'll see. When we talk about it, we'll see. But yeah. So overall, what were your thoughts on He-Man and Masters of the Universe?
I liked it. It's an interesting take because at first when they proposed the first, I guess, teaser trailer,
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were doing the whole alternate dimension kind of thing.
Right.
I didn't think they were using the same universe and he was ported to the other side of the universe. I didn't think that's what it was. So it's an interesting take how they're doing it. But I almost kind of wanted the other dimension thing because I think it would have made more sense with the idea of some of this stuff where, like, how did this sword get there and some of that stuff. But I guess they'll explain some of that stuff away.
I guess you got to watch the movie.
Yeah, no, totally. But yeah, no, I was wondering because I thought just the whole idea of the alternate universe or whatever they were going to do, dimension and whatnot. I thought some of the ideas maybe might have stuck a little bit better, but I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I have better faith in it now that I've seen this trailer because it actually gives you a little bit more of the story and how they're going to approach the story.
Right.
So it's just more straightforward than I thought it was going to be. So I'm eager to see what it turns out to be.
Yeah. I'm like, I liked it on a storytelling level because I was mentioning this last night on the stream.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge He-Man fan. I'm kind of like really late to the game.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been kind of going over some of the mini comics and the cartoons on
Yeah.
JP's channel. But just from a storytelling, am I invested in the character level?
Mm-hmm.
That trailer, I think, hit all the points. Right.
Yeah.
It made me care about Adam and He-Man and his plight. I was interested in Eternia, what happened to cause him to be exiled, to be sent away.
Mm-hmm.
And it gave me, like I said last night, it gave me chills. And it's not because like, ooh, it's the greatest trailer ever. It was like, I'm hooked into what they're selling.
Yeah.
And what the story could be. Now that's just, 2 minutes or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know how it's gonna play out over the long haul, but
Yes,
yeah, no worries. Life always interrupts everything, so it's all good. So we'll see. But in terms of a trailer, it was good.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's get to what we're all here for.
Oh, Supergirl.
Supergirl.
But is that what we're all here for? I think we're just here in general.
At least today.
Yeah.
So, did you get a chance to watch it?
Yeah, I saw it.
What'd you think?
I think Jason Momoa stole the show out of that whole kind of trailer.
Mm-hmm.
it does. I don't think the plot, from what they're hinting at, is the strongest. Because I thought this was supposed to be based on that last not Supergirl run that was pretty popular.
It's based on Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow.
Woman of Tomorrow, that's what it was. Yeah, that's the one I think. But I don't remember none of this stuff being in the Woman of Tomorrow. I remember like Lobo was in it. I don't remember all the subtext that it's all about crypto in a lot of ways, right?
Well, I think crypto is the connection to her people dying.
But people dying, yeah.
Right.
So that's where it kind of puts a little more stakes to it, I guguess.
Yeah, and that it's an anchor to her grief. Let's put it that way, right?
Yeah.
Fed again. Even then, it should be fine as they can haul it in revenue. Oh, this is talking about Masters of the Universe.
Masters of the Universe. Yeah, it's interesting. Going just quickly before we think Masters of the Universe, it's going to be interesting to see how that does in total revenue.
Yeah,
I think it will start strong. I don't know if it'll have legs. You know what I mean? Like I could still see the first week going, maybe hitting 90 million, maybe 120 or something like that, because it's a superhero adjacent type movie, right? So I think it could do some decent numbers, but I don't know the second week how that's going to work out. I have a feeling it's going to be a decent drop off. If they do a day and date with like Asia or something like that, it could do some pretty decent legs because they're, you know what I mean?
It's possible. Yeah. I think with all the marketing they've got behind it, the toys and everything like that, I think it's got a good chance of making a dent and doing decent. But we'll see, right? I think it's June 5th. Is that when it comes out? I'm not quite sure. Maybe you can tell us Fede again, because you seem to be pretty up on this. Let me see what you got here. Dune 3 and Avengers Doomsday is whole another case. Glad Dune 3 has IMAX screenings for 2 weeks forward. That's true. And I don't know if either of you have heard this. There's rumors that they might be moving Doomsday up.
I heard that too, yeah. Like by like a week or two?
Not sure how long, but yeah.
The animators are cursing right now.
Haven't they always been cursing? Marvel's always doing that last minute.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, we're doing the CG for the fight scene, and when is it coming out? Tomorrow, kind of. So that the film's probably not really locked until like the morning of.
Oh, for sure.
It's kind of nuts. Yeah. So yeah,
I thought this was a pretty good shot. Like, there's a couple nice action shots in here.
Most definitely.
I don't think she has the same, like the power level doesn't resonate as much as like Superman in regards to the type of thing she's doing. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't know. And I get maybe you could take the context that she's off planet, so she's not really dealing with humans. So some of that stuff could play into it. But she's just kind of like normal bar brawl. She's not really, you know what I mean, beating people up at a super level.
Well, the crazy thing about it is, though, she, at least in the trailer, she's using her distance attacks way more than Superman ever does. She's just doing the heat vision like crazy, blowing people out of ships. And so you can see that, and maybe she's fighting through her grief, like, and whatnot, but you can almost see that they're differentiating her as much as they can from Kal-El, right? Because Kal-El would be a kinder, gentler beatdown if you're fighting. And here we've got Jason Momoa in all of his Lobo greatness.
I'm still not sold on this, but maybe I'm the forever pessimist on this stuff. I'm not really sold on Jason Momoa being Lobo.
So wait a second. So you said he stole the show, but yet you're not sold on him.
He stole the show as the trailer. I know a lot of people that I've seen are mainly focusing, like everybody's like, oh yeah, the Supergirl trailer's out. Lobo's in it. Lobo this, Lobo that. I'm like, it's a Supergirl trailer. It's not a Lobo movie, right? And that's what I'm kind of getting at. So that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's a good point. Finnegan, they've had totally different lives, right? So Kara basically is the opposite of Kal-El, almost Bruce Wayne-ish in a way, but with an entire planet going as opposed to just mom and dad. And so you can see the bitterness that she has. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see because we bought Momoa as Aquaman.
Yeah.
And we've been for years, people have been saying, "Hey, this guy should be Lobo. This guy should be Lobo." And now we've got him.
Yeah.
I guess maybe that's just the human condition. You get what
Well,
you
I was never one of those people that said he should be Lobo.
Okay.
I never bought into the idea just because he looks kind of like the character. He should be the character that plays him.
Right.
It's kind of like the whole Rock thing with Shazam, like with Shazam
Black
and all
Adam?
that kind of, with Black Adam, right? Yeah.
Black Adam, to be honest, I never was sold on that, but I'm not a huge Shazam fan. So other than like Shazam the character, Black Adam could have been anybody, Mark Strong, whatever.
Yeah.
Because Black Adam kind of always reminded me of at least the way they draw him in the comics of Namor. Like they have the kind of same look, the pointy, the black hair.
Yeah, he does. He does have a lot of the same kind of characteristics. Yeah.
If they ever wanted to do a world's finest anti-heroes or whatever, those two guys could hook up and switch costumes.
And it worked pretty well.
Yeah,
it worked pretty well.
And he needs some '90s grunge music, angst music for this shot here. You can just see the pain. And I hope for all involved it goes well.
Yeah, me too. I don't want to see him come out as a flop.
Right.
But I have a feeling as well too. Some of the stuff they're grading on a curve a little bit.
Could be.
Right. Like, I mean, as much as Superman, the last one, they said it did great. I think I've read somewhere, technically, it did the exact same as the first Man of Steel that Zach did, maybe a little bit more.
Is that adjusted for inflation and everything too?
I guess that's what the whole thing is, maybe.
Okay.
I think it was good. Don't get me wrong, and I have faith in. We'll see how this goes. I mean, I could always say he does always pick a great soundtrack. He knows how to make a good soundtrack to a movie work, right?
Yeah, he's producing this one though. It's he's not directing it.
He's not directing it. Yeah, I know. Totally.
We'll see. Well, we'll definitely see. It's kind of interesting that they're launching the DC universe with 2 Superman related movies.
Yeah, before they do any other characters.
Which is although all these movies are team up movies essentially.
Yeah.
Right? They're not waiting to do here's your own movie. It's you at least get
another character,
second billing, third billing, or whatever. Because Superman was basically Justice League light.
Justice League light, and I think that's how they do it. Just based on if you get to push more characters out on a faster pace than having singular movies each time, right? Yeah. So I get what they're trying to do. I get the premise around it.
I personally I like it in some instances, but I hate it because what it does is it takes away time from the protagonist and the antagonist.
Core character.
To actually get into the meat of their characters. That I have a bit of an issue with that. Just like, you know what? These villains are engaging enough that you don't need 3 of them in a comic. I don't know why you need 3 of them in a movie. Yeah.
The other thing that I didn't about this trailer that I didn't care for, and I know I didn't read the book. I didn't read Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. But who's this villain? You could easily have substituted this villain out for somebody of a little bit more, like, gravitas. You know what I mean? Gravitas.
Well, I don't think you can checks it if you haven't read it.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Right. Like, so we'll see. I'm going into an open book, and we'll see. Yeah. Switching from Supergirl, we got some big news in the Spider-Verse. One of the most hated characters of all time has passed. Is no longer with us. His name is Paul Rabin. Now you're going to say, who's Paul Rabin? So for those of us who are Spidey fans, even I am a Spider-Man fan, but I haven't read it in a few years just because, we're trying to make our own stuff here. Yeah. But this dude is, he's one of the most hated characters that's come along in a long time.
He's only debuted for like, what, a year and a half, 2 years?
Maybe more than that. That. Right. So he's been around this is first appearance 2022. So we're at 4 years now. And this dude ended up, he's from another dimension. He and MJ, when Spidey were on another mission.
Of course, yes, I remember that.
Yeah, they went into another dimension. And it's one of those things kind of like with Invincible, where the other dimension time runs differently. So 4 days is 4 years, right? And Peter gets pushed back into Earth. MJ stays with Paul, and they end up becoming a couple with a couple of adopted kids. And she thought Peter was never coming back, and so she's with him. And somehow the writers and Marvel have been able to make this guy be more hated than Norman Osborn, the Jackal. It's unbelievable. And so he's also the son of one of Spidey's villains, this dude called the Emissary. But he's been put out of his misery by one of Spidey's other, I guess, a new villain.
The new villain, yeah, the guy. I don't even know what his name is.
His name is Torment.
Torment.
And, okay. It's interesting because this dude killed Shocker, right? and is now using Shocker's gauntlets.
I did see that. Yeah.
But he's on like this mission to kill anyone connected to Eddie Brock's family or Peter Parker's family. So that includes Eddie Brock's kid Dylan. And I didn't realize this, but the reason why MJ bonded with the Venom symbiote is because her body was breaking down, and I think it's part of due to some of the tech that Paul has created. Okay. So,
So he's a tech bro as well too.
Pardon?
Tech bro as well.
Yeah, he's a tech bro. Well, his dad's a super villain, right? Yeah, so it's all good.
How long do you give him before they
resurrect him?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. He apparently died a noble death, but all I'm seeing along Reddit is like, hell yeah. You remember the end of Return of the Jedi when they're doing the parades and stuff? I think that's what Spider-Man Marvel fandom's doing right now over this one dude. And I'm like, how is it that you can create a character that it's like he's so reviled? And Marvel has done their best to not have Spider-Man, at least in the 616, to not give fans what they want. And even in the Ultimate Universe now, spoiler alert, he don't make it there either. So when you win, you lose. And my hot take, we said this already, but I'll say it again. My hot take is Marvel does Spider-Man dirty because Sony has the movie rights.
That's
my hot take.
That's a really hot take, yeah.
Because you can't make him too good. If he's too good and if you celebrate him, like Batman kind of gets treated well on DC.
But he just gets treated really well.
Gets treated well, right? Batman gets treated so well, he can beat Darkseid, right? If he has enough prep time. Yes, I went there.
Master of prep time,
right? He can't beat Killer Croc if he shows up in Gotham, but he can beat Darkseid with enough prep time. So with Spidey, Spidey gets killed off in the Ultimate Universe. Spoiler alert. Got this Paul dude messing up his stuff, right?
Yeah.
Spidey just can't catch a break. He's the Charlie Brown of not just Marvel superheroes, but
it's definitely Charlie Brown superheroes. There's
been some arguments that Spider-Man's greatest villain isn't this Paul guy. It's Marvel Creative. That should be like number one in the rogues gallery for Spidey.
Editor in chief.
We'll see. But yeah, so big news there, and we'll see what happens. I'm not sure, but I think that Paul may actually even make an appearance in Brand New Day, Spider-Man Brand New Day.
You think so?
Yeah.
I wonder. I have a feeling. I'm going to call it now.
Go ahead.
Paul dying here is just a setup for a big reveal at the end of who actually this villain is, in some way.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So
we'll see. But it's comics, so he'll be back. He'll be
back in a year.
It's 2026? 2028.
2028? Okay. You're being generous. I'm going to give him 2027.
Book it, Dano. 2028.
I say 2027. I don't even give him that much time.
Yeah.
When they need another big crossover next year, that's when he'll pop up.
Yeah.
In the Spider-Man universe. For some reason, I think Ed McGuinness is only doing the covers then. I thought he was doing the interiors too.
That's a good question. I'm not sure.
Because I saw that he was back on covers, but it would have been better if he was doing interiors. But the pencil work that I just saw wasn't too bad.
Yeah. Speaking of Brand New Day and New Daredevil, Fedigan brings up a good point. They're guessing that Brand New Day is set after Daredevil Born Again season 2.
Oh, it's got to be, yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
And yeah, I'm not sure. I think Daredevil will show up, actually. I think that you're going to get Daredevil and Punisher and Spidey fighting the Hand. There's no way you have the Hand in a story.
Yeah, no,
and
Spider-Man.
Daredevil doesn't show up at some point. And
you think
that scene where they're jumping, not to cut you off.
That's what I mean. That's what I was about to say.
There's room for 2 more people there.
Well, you could think there's room for an acrobatic character doing some kind of leaping. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So for sure,
that's just my hot take.
Pretty good take.
But because I just think, like, if you're trying to do stuff to make your character like absolutely sellable, right, then the way that Marvel treats Spidey in the comics, it's like, what are you doing? Like, why make your fan base so frustrated?
Yeah.
Right.
You got to do them better than that. Also, I feel like it doesn't work. It works out for the benefit that they're ending. I think they end the Daredevil and then the Punisher debuts the same night. And I think it's just a little bit before Spider-Man comes out. I think just based on the timing of how they're working it.
It makes sense, though.
Right? So, yeah.
And Spidey works well street level.
Like if they keep on going about all the street level stuff, like having Punisher in there not only makes sense, but I would say there's a 50-60% chance Daredevil's in there for sure.
Yeah.
At this rate.
Yeah. For sure. Now on the indie comic scene, there's a lot of great stuff that we see on Kickstarters. We have it's usually books and graphic novels. But this is the first time I've actually seen an actual set of action figures.
Okay.
So this is Magnus Jakuta.
Yeah, I've seen this stuff. Yeah.
So Magnus Jakuta Champions. Now they are launching soon.
Okay, so still not fully. Okay.
Yeah, so they're in pre-launch. They got 195 followers. The figures look good.
They look good.
I haven't had a chance to talk to Frederick about it, but I've been looking at some of the stuff that he's got on Instagram, and man, it looks good.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. I'm glad to hear that.
The art is banging on it for sure. So the Champion Series retro action figure. So Magnus Jakuta isn't just our flagship hero. He's a symbol of resilience and heritage. From the comic book pages, Magnus Jakuta now arrives at the classic 3.75-inch scale, a tribute to the legendary toys that defined generations of collectors. So this model is a collector's dream and a play-ready figure, bridging past and present. Somewhere out there, a kid might pick up one of these figures, create their own adventures, and carry those stories with them the rest of their life, just like I did. This isn't just merchandise, it's legacy. It's proof that the words I dreamed of as a kid are now real enough to live in someone else's hands. And that's the kind of magic I'll never take for granted. Frederick Littles. So it's a classic G.I. Joe scale.
Yeah, I like that they put that too, because it's a good reference point.
Yeah, 20 points of articulation. And you're right. If you use the G.I. Joe as like an anchor,
then
people
have a pretty good preconception of what they're going to get.
Yeah. So this is going to be Wise Toys. So that's going to be another branch of what they're doing.
What they're doing. Okay, that's cool.
This looks pretty good.
It does look really good. I meant to send you. There's one of the other like independent. They're doing an animation. Did you see that too?
No, you got to send that to me.
Okay.
We can take a look at it, and then next week we can highlight
it.
Yeah,
I'll send it to you, and we can take a look at it next week. Yeah, we've seen their stuff before, but they did a bunch of books before, and now they're branching out into animation as well too, and trying to get their stuff out there in the animation world.
Package art looks great.
Yeah. Wonder who's helping them with their figurines overall.
That would be that. I'd love to know that as well too. Here's the first look.
Yeah.
Prototype M, Magnus Jakuta. And then I love the diorama.
Yeah, diorama, yeah, that's good.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, I set up right.
Yeah, that's banging. That's dope right there, man.
It's good for these guys. Happy for them.
Yeah, good design on action figure and packaging. Fettigan, absolutely agree.
Yeah, these guys have been hitting all the points as of lately. Backed a couple of their Kickstarters, the last one, so I'm
Full
waiting on
disclosure,
those.
we backed, at least I did. I've backed maybe 1 or 2 of them.
Yeah,
in the past,
mm-hmm.
including the Magnus Jakuta. I think it was issue number 1.
Mm-hmm.
This is wow. This is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
So is that it? Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
Let me see if they have anything on updates.
When are they launching?
That's a good question. Let me see. Updates. Do they have anything? So the king has returned. This might be artwork. This is great art.
Yeah. Damn, you got slapped.
Oh.
Yeah.
Superhero better have my money. It's pretty dynamic though. Great colors.
Yeah. Great colors. Yeah. Right on Kickstarter. Okay.
Okay. And so this is some of their other titles.
Mm-hmm.
This was in November of last year, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Yeah. So if anyone's in the if anyone out there is in the market for these kind of things, for figures or supporting indie, I'd say check these guys out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good colors and yeah, agreed. And also too, Supergirl's figure revealed today is kind of odd looking, but not too bad. You know what? I did see it, Fed again. And you know what? Before we go, let's see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find a clip of it and share it.
I meant to say when you were saying that before about the bond, like the grounding of the Supergirl story with the whole idea that her world kind of got, I think in the original story they got miniaturized, right?
Well, yeah, I think it's like an Andor, or not Andor.
Like
Superman, Candor with a K.
Candor.
James gonna like jump down my throat for calling it Andor. It's Candor with a K.
Blasphemy,
right?
Because wasn't that Brainiac? So I wonder if this is our intro to the Brainiac subplot for the next movie, right?
It's a good question.
Because that's, I think, who I remember doing it, because he was going around collecting worlds and shrinking them so that he could kind of use their knowledge as needed, but he was kind of collecting worlds.
Yeah, I can't find it, and the stuff I'm seeing, I'm not sure if this is legit, or maybe this is it in the DC shop. Yeah, this might be it.
DC shop.
Let me see if I can find it.
Excuse me. Sorry. It's been a long day, guys. Sorry about that.
And it's only noon.
Oh, yeah.
So here we go.
Oof. No offense, that mine looks a little bit rough.
Yeah, it's McFarlane's.
It's McFarlane's? Not to sound thing, McFarlane, but that face though.
So it did receive praise and many said to buy, so that's nice. It's a McFarlane brand, right? Okay, yeah, that's the one. I will say that the head sculpt.
The head sculpt. That's what I was kind of like.
I'm not sure if I'm fully buying it.
That's why that's the first thing I saw. That's why I was like, I'm not too sure. It hasn't sold me yet. You know what it looks like? It sounds awful. Remember Marlon Whale's white girls or whatever?
Right.
Look at the face.
Right.
So that one looks a little better right there.
White chicks?
White chicks, yeah.
Oh, wow. You are offside. You are so wrong.
The one with the turning head, that looks a lot better.
Right.
That one there, yeah. But
looks like is that a fabric cape?
I don't know.
Because I know McFarlane does that sometimes.
He does that, yeah.
She's got the
But
sword.
Millie isn't that big, right?
How do you mean?
That's the other thing. The actress herself isn't like that tall.
No, she is tiny. She's short.
It's just tiny from what I remember. It seems like they've kind of increased the size of this figurine.
It's a
I
doll.
guess
Though.
it's a doll. I guess get some
Yeah.
creative liberties.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Interesting. But to be honest with you, if you look at Magnus Jakuta, if you look at Frederick's figure and this figure and stand them side by side, they're on point.
I think so.
They're on point. And that's going up against a McFarlane sculpt.
McFarlane sculpt, yeah. They do all this stuff 3D. I don't know if he does his figurines in like thing, because I find his figurines for some of the other brands aren't as detailed as some of his Spawn stuff. And I don't know if that's just the idea that with the Spawn, it's his license, so he can get to like the extra super detailed stuff. But I find outside of his own characters, a lot of his figurines are, not say basic, but they're pretty standard in a lot of ways, right?
Right.
But that's really good for him that he actually got the license for this stuff.
Yeah. I like the regular face over the smirk.
Yeah, same here.
I think there's something about the smirk when you get to like the chin.
It's not looking. Yeah,
it looks slightly off.
Yeah.
But this will sell, you know.
It's a sell, yeah. Like the movie does well, because I don't want the whole nother rework of DC stuff. They've been on a pretty good roll, so wish them the best in regards to that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to see anybody fail in regards to that type of stuff.
No,
it doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anybody any good for the
industry.
No. For the industry or just the creative market as a whole. Like, you want to see successful things succeed in the sense that, you know, you can put it out, people will buy it to a certain degree. It doesn't need to sell like millions, but at least it sells enough that it covers its cost. It has a good base so that this stuff keeps on happening, right? Because what you don't want to do is you don't want it to flop a whole ton. You don't want the movie to flop. So then all of a sudden now, and the other problem too, now they just got to acquire it. So you don't want anything to flop, because then they're already rethinking how they're going to move forward, right? With this stuff. Now that DC's now owned by the, was it the Ellisons or whatever?
I think it's the Ellisons, yeah.
Yeah. So like, you got to be mindful of that stuff, because they were in a transition year before this happened, and all that stuff was on an upwards trend. Now you kind of have a pause, and that could go any way. Like, there's big rumors that they're going to lay off a ton of people in the movie departments because it's redundant having two big studios have a lot of the same roles, right?
Yeah. One of my big fears, and I'm just thinking about this as a consumer.
Yeah.
If you've got fewer owners for studios, the type of entertainment you're going to getting, the type of product you're going to get, is going to shrink, because you're not going to have, like, it's hard for one company to think three different ways creatively, right? Like, you could see even comic books, you know, you might get a Vertigo out of DC, but then how long does that last, right? You need the Dark Horses, you need the Mad Caves, you need so like if Marvel owned two other companies, let's just say they owned Boom and Mad Cave, then Mad Cave and Boom aren't Boom and Mad Cave anymore. They're just Marvel Light or something along those lines, right? Because the top down thought processes and the risks that they might take creatively, or what they think works artistically, it doesn't translate. So, you know, if you're not going to get certain kinds of films if there's only, you know, so many 2 or 3 players.
Yeah, and we're already kind of getting some of that already. So they're going back to the well of 80s and 90s movies and trying to rehash them versus coming up with new IPs, right? So it's hard.
Yeah. The new IP game is going to be a tough one.
Yeah.
Because they want built-in fan bases, right? They want those numbers. So I wonder, this is Fedigan again. I wonder if Aaron Pierre's John Stewart action figure wearing armor comes out after Man of Tomorrow. I bet it will. It's possible, because he does show up in the film, and it's going to be interesting to see how they play out the Green Lanterns in that series.
Yeah,
if they keep it fully grounded the entire series, or if we get, you know, the budget blown in the
First
first episode, and then in the last episode and a half.
Oh yeah, that's a classic TNG. That's a classic Buffy. You know what I mean? That's how it was. The first episode and the last episodes were always the biggest effects heavy budgets, right? Generally, the last episode was a two-parter in some ways, so you could kind of hang on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, for sure. Fedigan says, imagine if Man of Tomorrow has Jon Stewart, Kal-El, and Lex wears the armor, and Kara. Yeah, that movie could be absolutely great, and it also could fall apart under its own weight just because of all the stuff that
they're trying to do. Yeah,
right. And then how do they manage Brainiac?
Yeah,
right.
I want to know how they're going to do the armor is the one question. Lex's armor is the one that I want to figure out how they do it. Probably a lot of practical, and then far scenes or CG. So,
you know what, man? He's gonna be RoboCop, just without a helmet.
Yeah,
right. Because his head's bare in that helmet.
Yeah. So they'll just do like the last couple of years they did with Tony Stark kind of stuff where they just in green screens. Yeah.
But I do want to see him in the jacket, the purple and green. With the jacket and the plunderer pants, that's what I want to see. I want to see Doc Savage style
era stuff.
Lex Luthor.
You might be waiting for a while for that.
Oh, I'll be waiting forever. Yeah. I can't see them putting Nicholas Hoult in anything like that.
I'm really surprised that they went with the armor the way that if it's pretty accurate to what Jim Lee actually drew as the concept for the announcement thing. If they're actually going to do the green and purple armor, that'd be interesting.
Yeah,
but I think James Gunn he could do that, and you could get away with that too versus a lot of other people. You know what I mean, I feel like they have to go dark and moody.
Yeah,
so that'd be interesting.
Fedigan says Nicholas may still rock him. You know what? Do it for the fans, man. Do it for the fans.
Do it for the fans.
Awesome. Well, Vaughn, we're gonna wrap it up here. It was another good session. A little quick news update on what's going on tomorrow. Make sure that you're with us tomorrow at 7 p.m. We're going to take a look at the most iconic vehicles in pop culture history. So there's going to be some that you may have forgotten. We're probably going to leave some off, but we're doing the whole gamut. That's cars, bikes, planes, spaceships. We're doing everything. Yeah. And so we'd love to get some of your feedback. So any of you who are watching and anyone who's in the comments, Fedigan, you got to show up for tomorrow's stream. It'd be awesome to hear some of the reactions on the ones that we pick. And I know that some of the ones we pick will have a nostalgic and deep connection to some of you out there for sure.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. All right, Fedigan, would you say true? James Gunn is dedicated for DCU, so yeah, for the fans for sure. Oh, should be tomorrow. It will be interesting. Yeah, and there's some stuff from the '80s. There's a lot. There's a lot of '80s in there, and then
a lot of gems.
Some new stuff as well too. Yeah. But Vaughn, it was good to see you again. We'll be in touch soon. See you tomorrow evening. Everyone out there, Fedigan, thanks for all the amazing comments. It was awesome spending the last half hour or so with you. And keep it indie.
Keep it indie, guys. Have a good one.
Abso.